Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome in to Richmond Review here on this Tuesday of February. Marissa Hempel, Michael Watkins, along with Mike Brewer, Ed McDaniel, two of the city commissioners here. And that's at 12 o'clock. We're supposed to go live now, so we're good to go. A lot of stuff happening right now in Richmond and here in Madison County. And Ed, one thing that I know we've really been talking about is The Rock. You guys have been a big part of that. The Tasty Tuesdays was announced last week. You guys are happy to kind of get that going, and just a lot more things kind of coming up down the pipeline here in Richmond.
Oh yeah, Mike and I, we've had a couple of these things on our agenda for the last few months, and it's just by chance that they've all come together right here at the same time. But you know, the Richmond Outdoor Committee is going to be a really good tool for us in reaching out to the public and educating them on what Richmond has to offer, you know, for outdoor recreation. And come spring, summer, we're going to start putting on some like kayak safety, and we're going to do some kayak relay races out at Reba, do a little hiking, you know, some survival training and stuff. Just try to make it fun for everybody. And then the food truck vendor Tuesday is something that Mike and I, we talked about in, I think it was, what, December?
Yes, started in December.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, this is something where, because of the pandemic, we've had to sit back and think outside the box, you know, and come up with, well, how can we, one, get the community out safely, and two, how can we help some of our local businesses? And this is the best of both worlds. So the Richmond Parks and Recreation is going to let them set up there at Irvin McDowell.
Yeah.
We're going to have some live music. Dreamin' Creek's going to be out there.
Now, Mike's not singing, right?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
So I can
But
clear my voice.
Well, then I don't want to come if Mike's not singing.
well, later on in the night, he'll be up
All
there
right.
singing.
That'll
He
work.
doesn't mean Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
But this is something that you guys talked about it. The smaller businesses, yes, we've been back open for a while now, but you still got to find a way to kind of recoup some of those funds that you lost at the early parts of the pandemic. And this is a good way for those food trucks and other vendors to get out there and showcase their business. I mean, you look at what we didn't have the normal Halloween hoedown. We didn't have the Christmas parade, which is always a big deal for those smaller businesses to get out and showcase who they are and what they are about. So we didn't have that this year, Mike, and this is a good way for those businesses to kind of get out and show what they are all about.
Yeah, and I want to stress that back when this pandemic first started, we all kind of got together by Zoom and calling and texting and figuring out what we could do for our small business community. So we put together a stimulus package, and our city manager, along with Tyler Johnson, Ed and I, and even Tyler Frazier got in there. We set aside some money back so we could help the small businesses in our community recoup something. And it's going well. We had 75, I think, people sign up for it, and we're going through the process of getting those that aren't duplicated or are duplicated and separate them out so we can give them this financial help.
Yeah.
And it's just our way of saying thank you for weathering this in our community and staying open and helping our public, and we want to help you back.
Well, Marissa, I know you've spoken to Mason from the Richmond Parks and Rec about some of the stuff that they kind of need as we go forth with this project.
Yeah, so speaking about Tasty Tuesdays, so I did talk to him, and they were originally exploring, I don't know if you guys know this or if it's the same information you had, just one truck a day. But now it seems like there's enough interest that there might be more. There might be a coffee truck. So for those interested in going to Irvin McDowell Park, he made it seem like it's going to be, like you said, the live music. And
a little festival atmosphere kind of.
Yeah, and he said they've been working on it. Like you guys said, it's been in the works for a while, but now's kind of the time to pounce, especially with all the changes. I should mention, though, isn't there some issues with food truck ordinances? Because we had talked about that at a previous show. Has that changed at all?
No, we extended the deadline for them to have the fire safety, what is it, exhaust, Mike?
Yeah, where it would put up put out a small fire in the food truck. They have to have that. We extended that till March. Is that right, or July?
April 1st.
April, okay.
Yeah, April 1st. So the food trucks will still have to be inspected, of course, and meet all the other requirements, but that extension will still be good until April the 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do have this information. If anyone is interested, has a food truck, wants to participate, it says you can visit the City of Richmond website to complete the registration form and provide the department with the requested documents. It is highly encouraged that the vendor has read and is familiar with Ordinance 1924, which is what we were just talking about, as any vendor that is unable to meet the requirements listed will be unable to set up at the food truck night. Questions regarding the paperwork needed to set up can be directed to the Parks and Rec Department at 859-623-8753. So if anyone's interested.
She can read really well.
Yeah.
Proud of her.
I had it memorized, but I got nervous.
Well, one thing that we saw, that's a big thing coming up. One thing that we saw a couple of weeks ago, might have been last week, was the breaking of the ground at the new Buckys location, which is something that you guys have been a part of as well, getting that going. And it's finally here. They broke ground last week, and it's another exciting thing that's coming to Richmond.
Well, between the $30 to $50 million investment in our community by that organization, that company, is to say something about what we offer here in Richmond. And I'm looking forward to seeing that completed, 120-something gas pumps. It's a travel plaza. It's not a truck stop. And we've had people say things like that, which I felt like they didn't know what they were really talking about. If they just go on Bucky's website, they'll see what it's about.
Yeah.
They take their people, Michael, and train them for 6 months at one of their stores that operate.
And they're all over, right?
They're all over, but we're the first one in this area, and probably will be the only one.
Because they're usually more in the South, right?
Yes. And they train them for 6 months, put them up. They don't have a whole lot of turnover with their employees. I mean, they want to take care of their group, and they do a very good job, and we're very fortunate that they chose us, this community, to build this new one.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about a corporation with their stores that are having, $100 million a year in profit.
Man.
That's crazy. And that's the kind of thing that we need here because of the job benefit to the community.
Yeah.
And the tax revenue that comes from that. It's a benefit all the way around for us.
Well, I know you said you were excited about the wall of beef jerky.
Oh yeah, you'll find me there. Yeah.
Hey, and no kidding. I mean, that's really kind of a showstopper for them too, because they advertise it everywhere they go. But in all fairness to Richmond, when this is completed, you're going to see a lot of businesses look at the 83-mile marker on Duncannon to open up.
Yeah.
And it's like Commissioner McDaniel said, the tax revenue on it's really going to help our community. And we're just very fortunate they chose us, and we look forward to them being here. And we look forward to whatever follows behind them.
Well, and you got to give a whole lot of credit to David Stipe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This guy, he is just a rock star. He
Yes.
went out, he's talked with them, spoke with them, met with them, and he's one that brought them here, So he really deserves a lot of the credit. He does a lot of stuff for the city, and is successful at most of it.
Do we have an idea of when they'll be completed, when they'll be opening up? I know it'll be
Tomorrow. They'll be done tomorrow.
No, he actually, I think they
timely.
actually said this time next year they will be open.
Okay,
Yeah.
so about a year's time. Well, that'll be cool then. Well, there's a lot of more stuff going on as well. We know next week, normally one of the busiest times for Madison County, you look at it with EKU, and then you look at just your normal traffic and everything else. Then you bring in the Ollie Classic. Now, this year is going to be a lot different. They're going to be limited access, obviously, because of COVID. We've been out doing all these ball games, for Madison Central, Southern, Berea, and Model, and you see the number of fans that are allowed in. Now, at EKU, it's a bigger complex, so you can have more fans in, but still the average sports fan, the average basketball fan won't be able to go just watch a game during the Ollie Classic. Those games are going to be streamed online, so you can watch those, and a portion of that I think will go back to the city of Richmond as well. But with everything that's going on, the Ollie Classic is coming back to Richmond, and it's not going to be the same boom that it is for the economy typically, but still a very big deal that this thing is coming back to town next week.
Oh yeah, we're just happy that that we are getting to have it. I think they're limiting alumni to what, 900?
900.
900 people
Per game?
Yes.
Per game, yeah. So, yeah, again, you know, it's good that we're able to, that they're allowing us to do it.
Yeah.
You know, of course, with guidelines, but it's just one step closer for us getting back to normal living. So we'll do it and be happy and have a good time.
How does the 900 compare, to like a normal Ollie? Because I'm here, I see all the people, but I don't know how many people the arena usually sits.
Well, actually, I can't remember last year's numbers, but it was very, very high. Or the year before, let's just say that, because we didn't
Get to have it last year.
Right. And
No, we did have it last year. Yeah, we got to have it last year. Yeah. It was right before the pandemic hit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm pandemic.
yeah.
Pandemic'd out, right?
But Lori has those numbers, and I think she's going to do something with you all.
Yeah, well, after
But
this
it's
is
nothing.
over.
Yeah, it is nothing compared to what we've had. But it's like Commissioner McDaniel said, it is something, and we're looking forward. And you guys do a good part on that, of promoting that and showing what it's all about. And we have to give thanks to everyone.
Well, that's one thing that I think is going to be we talked about the economic boost. Lori's predicting about 1/3 of what we would normally get for the hotels and the restaurants and the shops locally as well. But she also talked about, volunteers. There's not going to be as many as there normally are,
Right.
because you got to limit not only the fans that are there, but the number of people that are working this event. So the folks that are working are probably going to be working 3 times as hard as they normally would for 1/3 the economic boost. But I think what this thing does is it still allows you to show, even during a pandemic, Richmond is thriving. And I think that's the big deal, that we want to get that across, that for the folks that do come into this town, we are going to take care of them, and we're going to show them that we are still here and we are still thriving.
Well, President McFadden from EKU, they have done a lot of work to make sure that the safe part of this is going to happen, and our hats off to them, because if they said, no, we can't do it, then we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But they stepped up to the plate, and they've done a lot of things that are under the surface that people should realize just how much they have helped put this on. So, and we thank them.
Marissa, I know with the Ollie Classic, again, we're going to be talking to Lori later on today, and that'll air on one of our newscasts later this week as we get ready for next week. But this event is something that goes on every single year, and I don't think people realize how much work goes into making sure this thing gets off the ground and gets going.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and even you guys down on the court,
Yeah.
film it and everything. So I think it's important for Richmond, and I'm glad they come here because they kind of chose the best place, in my opinion.
Exactly. Went away for a while, but it came back for a reason.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short commercial break, folks, and come back. We're here live on the Richmond Review on Wbon TV. When we come back, lots more to get to, as a lot of happenings going on right now here in Richmond. We'll get to those when we come back on Wbon TV.
Right now, it is so important to order from your local restaurants and your local food trucks. You can have it delivered, or you can go by and pick it up. Wait a minute, I'm going to place my order. Hello? Yes, can I place a delivery, please?
Michelle.
And I'm Jennifer, and in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Kokudet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see you.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Campus Warehouse is fresh out of quarantine and has everything you need to get back in the game. Now more than ever, it's important to show support for your favorite team. And Campus Warehouse has stylish Eastern Kentucky merchandise or something for the Kentucky fan in your life. As we continue to fight the coronavirus pandemic, Campus Warehouse also has the clothes you need to show you're a part of Team Kentucky. Like them on Facebook or stop in and see for yourself at Campus Warehouse, 2139 Lantern Ridge Drive, next to Buffalo Wild Wings in Richmond.
Back here on the Richmond Review, here on Wbon TV, Michael Watkins and Marissa Hempel, as Mike gets a phone call. Tell him you're an important person, Mike. You can't be having phone calls while you're on the air, all right?
I wonder who that was.
Why has that been a theme that just when everyone's phone is silent?
So yours or Mike's or ads will go off when we come back the next time. But one thing that we had talked about in some previous Richmond Reviews was the sidewalks and people, asking to have sidewalks fixed, and that was one of the things that you guys really wanted to focus on as we, kind of entered the new year, and I'm sure that's been something that you guys have really worked on.
Well, Ed and I had talked about this back before we even ran this last time, that one of the things that we needed to do was to provide some repair work to the sidewalks and things that we have in our communities. And not to leave out is some areas don't even have sidewalks. So what Rob Mondridge did, our city manager, and I got to give him a lot of credit for this, he developed a plan with Tyler Johnson in order to take areas that we have in our community where the sidewalks need to be repaired. So we're probably going to do a budget amendment here soon and add the money to that to start in certain areas, fix sidewalks, and then the next time we'll add, and then we'll go to another area and repair the sidewalks, and also to keep in the back of our mind that they're Barnes Mill, Irvin Road, I guess that'd be Irvin Street, don't have sidewalks at all. And it's time that we need to look at that. I think Ed has really championed a lot about the Barnes Mill, and Robert Blythe and I, our mayor, we've kind of championed a lot about having Irvin Street fixed too. Okay. So, but we're going to tackle this, and it will certainly be money well spent.
And this is something that I think, in getting to know you guys over the last 4 or 5 years, I really feel like your phones are always ringing because there's always something going on. Yeah. And that's that's part of this job. Like when somebody has something that needs to be fixed, or they see something that's an issue in the city of Richmond, it kind of goes to the website. There's ways to report that, and then it comes back to you all to try to find a way to fix those issues.
What was it, 2 years ago, Mike? That's something I found out about this job. It's not just going to businesses and taking pictures there, Yeah. It's actually getting out and working and trying to make Richmond better. And, 2 years ago we developed My Richmond app.
Yep.
And it works, and it's done really well since, it's been active about people being able to report potholes and such and stuff. And it's like Mike said, we've been after sidewalks for a while now, and they're starting to develop a system for getting them fixed. We don't need folks walking down the streets.
Yeah.
We need them walking on sidewalks. We want them to be safe and to wherever they need to be going. But, the one thing that I get called on a lot is this little section down here in front of this church on Main Street.
Yeah.
We're not over that.
Yeah.
That's the state, and I would love to get the state to come fix that because I just spilled my drink coming up here when I hit it. But no, this is something that we've been working towards for a while, and it just takes so much time to get this in place to actually be able to start doing it. This isn't something where, okay, we'll just write this check and we'll get them fixed. It just doesn't work that way.
I think despite what you see some people posting on Facebook or, whatever, there's a process you have to go through. You can't just say, okay, we're going to fix that. There's a process you have to go through to fix that. Everybody has to be on board. And, I think that one of the biggest things with that
They're talking about that pothole, Mike.
Yeah.
calling you right now, right? But I think one of the biggest things that people don't understand is, you start by getting the issue out there, but then there's a process you have to go through of getting it fixed. And just because somebody posts something on Facebook doesn't mean that it's going to get fixed.
Well, yeah, and it's just like the issue out by your place.
Yeah, the light.
The parkway, the stoplight. We offered to pay for that, and we were told no.
Yeah.
There's some things, some jurisdictions we can't operate in. But
Well, you mentioned the app. I was going to ask about that. Do you know how many unique users are on that by any chance? Has it been implemented pretty well? Are you getting a lot of feedback from that? Do you know?
There's 6 million.
There's no way. So people in Fayette County are downloading the My Richmond app. I guess that's a Rob Meinrich question. But I had talked to him about that app, and I was intrigued by it. And so
It is. No, and there is a lot of users. I couldn't tell you an exact number.
Okay.
But I know that it's way over 3,000.
Yeah.
And it gets utilized every week. So, and even I use it when I'm out just driving around looking and I see something, I'll stop and I'll use the app to report it.
Yeah.
Because that's how I'm supposed to do it. I don't have any special privileges, so I use the app at least once a week myself.
just like the rest of us, you're just a...
That's right. That's right.
And let me bring this up just because it kind of fits into what we're talking about, sidewalks, and our comprehensive plan group met for the first time yesterday, which I represent the city commission on. I feel fortunate, but any of us could have done it, but I was chosen to serve on that. And the one striking number that got me with the statistical information that they said was that 7,000 people in Richmond leave here and go to work somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
And that, to me, that's a staggering. What we have to do as commissioners is come together, be united, and figure out a way to get those people here to work here. Now, grant you, a lot of them go to Lexington that are probably professionals, doctors, or whatever, and work over there and then live here. I'd like to find a way to keep some of them here.
Do you have any ideas for that yet? I mean,
we just actually we're going to have our second meeting in March, and one of the things would be that the committee itself, members of the committee, would come together and come up with those ideas that would change that for them to come here. Now, we know that we are at least 200 acres short in parks and recreational area. Ed's been working a great deal for the Rock, and both of us and others have been on board trying to figure out how we can develop new land and to have outdoor activities. But that was another staggering figure that came in, is that we are short that much. I want to see a soccer complex. He wants to see a soccer complex. I'm sure the others do too. but we have to find an area that we can do that. I want to see another splash park in this community to draw people from the other side of town where they don't have to drive all the way across town to go to Arcadia Cove. And so we have these ideas, and we're going to try to work on finding the finances to do this. But those two major things have stuck out. If you don't have recreation for their kids, they're not going to live here.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I didn't know you and Ed were so big into playing soccer against each other, but I can see it. I can see
it every Saturday morning.
I'm usually the setting goalie.
Okay.
Well, you had mentioned the Rock earlier, and I did want to ask you this because Berea is really big with outdoors, trails, bike parks, stuff like that. So I don't know if they meet the quota that you had just mentioned or not, because that's the first I've ever heard of it. But, I mean, is this going to kind of, not a rivalry, but, we kind of need to put emphasis, especially during the pandemic, to be outside and do stuff like that. So is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, absolutely. That, and it's like we talked about at our first meeting, we'll include everybody. We live in Madison County.
Yeah.
We represent Richmond, but this is something for everybody. And we just want to get everybody out and get them engaged in doing and using our recreational facilities. If we need to go to Berea and do some things, we'll go to Berea. And, we'll talk.
Yeah, we're not in competition with anybody.
Yeah.
We just.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
I know that. But
that's exactly what she meant.
Yeah.
And she was trying to start something with it.
But what it is that they do have things that we can't offer.
Yeah.
The
we don't
trails.
have as many mountains. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And things like that. And so we have to play to a different field. And that's what our plan is.
The long and short is Richmond is busting at the seams right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to grow. And like Mike said, we're finding the revenue to do just that. And the way that we do that is by locating land and buying land.
One thing I think that don't get talked about a whole lot is, applying for grants in the city, trying to get that extra money, especially during the pandemic that's become available. Talk about some of those processes that you have to go through to reach out and get that money to bring back to the city.
Well, let's just start by saying that we have Tyler Johnson that really researches every day for grants that can help us obtain monies that do just exactly what we're asking it to do about parks and recreation and things like that. So, and we look ourselves. We ask. We don't just sit and let them bring it to us. We try to go and find things that we can do and people we can talk to. Deanna Frazier, for example, has been a great asset for Richmond and Madison County. So I feel very fortunate that she is our state representative, and she's worked well, and she always looks to help Richmond when she can.
Marissa, we've got about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes left. So
well, that's a perfect segue to the last thing that I did want to talk about. So the Parks and Rec Department, this was another thing that recently came up. I feel like I'm their correspondent today for some reason, Parks and Rec. But they recently were awarded a grant from the National Fitness Campaign. So it's looking like, and I'm sure you guys worked on this, Lake Reba is going to have an ADA official outdoor workout area, correct?
Right. Yep.
So what is that going to look like? Are there plans in the works for that yet, or
it's going to look like a gym
just
without a roof?
Without a roof. No, it's you've seen like these little outdoor gyms at a beach where they go.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not going to be the cast iron plates or anything like that. It's more
just
body weight.
Yeah.
And it's just a place where, again, you're promoting well-being, fitness, and all that. It all kind of intertwines together, and that's a big goal of ours that's coming true right now. It's really, and it's rewarding to see it happening. So I can't wait to see the final result.
I think one of the biggest things that's been focused on with this pandemic is physical and mental health. I mean, it's not just, going to the doctor. There's a lot of stuff that goes on that you may even realize about yourself until it's there one day. That all kind of weighs on you, whether it's being at home or losing your job or just the normalcy of life that you were used to. We're almost a year into this thing now, and we're still not back to the life that we once had. So I think that this is a big way for folks to get outside and try a new way of exercising and focusing back on that health that you used to have.
And I should mention they are seeking sponsors. So in addition to the grant that we were so luckily awarded, Richmond Parks and Rec is saying if you want to have your name or your business on a plaque on one of the workout areas, they are welcoming any sponsors.
Mike's doing it.
Are you going to be on the pull-up bar, the Mike Brewer pull-up bar?
I'm working out. It's a seated roll.
Well, anyway, so they asked for Parks and Rec. If you are interested, you can give them a call, and again, that number is 623-8753.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way for you to get your business name out there. And there's different levels of sponsorships, like a title sponsorship, all the way down to like the smaller ones. So any of those would be greatly appreciated, and we'll have a good way to get your name out there. Well, guys, it's time to take off for this edition of Richmond Review. Before we go, anything else you guys want to get out there?
I want to tell you, we're going to introduce you to our new city attorney, our next Richmond Review, Tyler Frazier. We've asked him to come and sit down and talk to you all when we do the show.
And he wants to because we may say too much, so.
Yeah. He's like, strike that from the record.
All right. That'll work. So that'll be on the next Richmond Review. We'll let you know when that's coming up. For Mike Brewer and Ed McDaniel, two very hard-working guys. Well, one of them is. I'm not going to say which one works harder than the other.
I appreciate that. I do.
Two of the hardest-working guys here in Richmond. We appreciate all that you guys do. And the other city commissioners, Mayor Blythe, Rob Meinertz. I mean, it is a full team effort to get this city as great as it is right now. We appreciate all that you guys do. For Marissa Hempel, our producer, Austin Hanks, I'm Michael Watkins. Stay safe, folks. As always, we'll see you on the next Richmond Review here on Wbon TV.